If I can't pull up and be peculiar, don't even send that invite. My swag is bewildering. And if commoners are in attendance, they will be rubbed the wrong way. And I make no apologies for my whimsy.
Hello, my fellow jesters. Today we are going to start by checking to see if the glowing lights have any messages for us, and they are saying they do. I am now starting to work completely without cards, so we are going to be reliant completely on telepathy. Let's see, what do they have to tell us? Marriage. There are going to be incoming marriages, quite a number of them, with the Holy Spirit and with real life people. That's probably the next rapture. They're saying no, it's not the next rapture wave. This is just something that's organically happening and has been happening for a long time. Not a long time, but it's been sort of organically happening over the past few years. Yes, and it's speeding up. For those of you who have not either received the Holy Spirit, your head spirit, knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel, whatever it is within your particular frame, it is likely that that is going to be happening for you in some kind of upcoming wave. For those who have already received their angel or the Holy Spirit, whatever, it is likely that you are going to start encountering your marital partners if marriage is part of what is going on for you in this reality and in this timeline. And they're saying it's speeding up. So be prepared. They're saying something about you're going to have to get uncomfortable. It's due to the pace. It's something about the pace, like something's going to be like faster than perhaps you want it to be. So if you're someone who prefers like taking a while to get to know someone, that might not be in the cards for you. You're just like your wife, your spouse is just going to show up and it's just like, it's me. And you're going to know immediately that it is them, but you're like going to want to like keep it at arm's length a little bit. And it's just like, no. And they're saying, yeah, that's correct. And they're saying that that's all you have to know right now about what's going on. It's incoming marriages. It's a spiritual marriage first, generally, for the way that the glowing lights do things. It's spiritual marriages first, and then if you are meant to have an in real life spouse, that typically comes after the spiritual marriage. Some of you are going to be having spiritual marriages, some of you are going to be having physical marriages, and there's probably going to be a rare instance where you kind of have both simultaneously, so it's going to be like a real big roller coaster. Are there any more messages? Okay, no. Before we get into rapture sign, well, not rapture signs, apocalypse signs, apocalypse watch 2026, because it hasn't officially started yet. I actually don't know when it's going to officially start. And I'm sorry if I was like emotional last time. It's really like, yeah, it's the apocalypse and yeah, it's the Antichrist and all of that. And it's probably going to be like fairly tumultuous and everything else. The apocalypse is not going to be like, oh my God, and there's fire everywhere and like everybody's dying. And it's like, it's not going to be like that at all. There is going to be some chaos. There are going to be like some more dramatic things that happen. But what I was sad about is not everybody's going to the same place. And by the way, that does not mean that like everybody's going like to die or anything like that. It just means that if you're someone like me, like no one who you knew prior to the apocalypse, like you're just not, and I'm talking about including like family and everything else, you're just not going to be in the same space as any of those people anymore. You're not going to talk to them. You're not going to see them anymore. It's almost like it's going to be impossible for you to coexist in the same place. And that's more of the reality of like a timeline split or a dimensional split, as opposed to people just like vanishing off the face of the planet. But it's still like, it's still a sad, well, for me, it's a sad thing anyway. Even if it's a great thing, it's still kind of like, I would prefer if like maybe one person who I knew was going to the same place as me, but it's not to be, okay? And wherever you're going, wherever you end up, the little dimensions and realms or whatever, there are going to be people there for you who care about you and everything else. But it's still like when you're making a split like that, to me, there's always like some level of grief, but I'm not usually so like, ugh. on the videos. I'm typically pretty perkier. Before we get into potential apocalypse signs of the end times leading up to whatever dramatic event is going to officially kick off the apocalypse and trigger the next 3 rapture waves, I want to talk about a particular encounter that I had last night. So that would be the 23rd of June. I had been kind of bummed out recently because there was like a period at the beginning of the year when I was seeing like a ton of orbs and crafts and ships. Like every single night I was seeing like tons and tons and tons of them. And then once I got my job, I wasn't seeing them as much. I would see like 1 or 2 when I was on my way to work, like really early in the morning, and they would like fly over my car and stuff, but not as many as I was seeing towards the beginning of the year. And then after I resigned from my job, I was kind of like, I wasn't seeing any of them at all, but I was seeing a whole bunch of people on TikTok like filming footage. I was like, well, the beings are over there. What happened to the beings over here? I'm kind of sad. I was bummed out last night, and I was just like, I want to have the beings come back. I want to have like a bunch of crafts hanging around my house. I think it's fun. And so I was looking out the window. I was like all around here, like looking out the windows, and there was just like no craft whatsoever. There were no beings. And so I was like, okay, fine. And so I went into the living room and I sat down for a few minutes, and I swear to y'all, there was this sound, and it was like a really weird like trumpet. It was like a strange trumpet sound. I really can't describe how it was strange though. It's like I want to describe it as digital, but it wasn't a digital type of sound. It was just like, it didn't sound like a regular trumpet. And it was like filling the sky, and I was just like, it's them, girl, not other girl. And so I got up and I went to the window and looked. It was them, girl. It was them. They came down with the sound of the trumpet. And so I saw one of the like larger craft like to my left, and it was like cruising, and I was like, oh my God, like I want to go see it. So I went out on my balcony and I was watching it. And when I watched that craft kind of go into the distance, the orbs, but like I saw the orbs, and there was like one orb kind of closer to me, and then there was one off in the distance, and the one closer to me was white, and the one off in the distance, just based on my perspective, I don't know if it was the actual color, was more like orangey. And whenever I see the orbs like at a distance, when they're not super up close, I'm always kind of like, but is it a star or a planet though? Probably not. I'm fairly certain that this is a being. This is a craft. And so I was watching them. I started talking to them, girl, not a girl. And I was just like, hello, I'm so happy you're back. And they're like, you know, you can talk to us at any time. Like I'm talking to them all the time, literally all the time. But to me, it's like different when you can see them, you know what I mean? And so I like, it's better. And so I was just like, I know, but I like seeing you because it makes me feel like I'm not making it all up, right? And so I was just standing there kind of enjoying the orbs, and I went, okay, but could you please come closer? And they were like, yeah, we'll come closer. And I was like, oh my God. And so what I was thinking was that the orb I was looking at was going to come closer. That is not what happened. It was like, and you gotta wait, like when you make a request and they say yeah, it's like they don't, like, I don't know why, but it's like never how I expect it's gonna be. Because I'm expecting this orb to come up closer, but it's like they can't do that. And I think it's something about like the energy of the beings, right? Because the orbs are like beings themselves. Like I know they shapeshift and everything, but they cannot get nearer to you physically without it harming you, unless you've been like super prepared to be around them. Like you have to be receiving, like you have to be really filled with the spirit essentially for the glowing whites. Like the Holy Spirit is the thing that is raising you up physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, to be able to interact with them, like physically. And so I in no way am filled with enough spirit in order for one of those orbs to like come up to me and for me to be okay. They're saying I will eventually, but not right now. Like they've got to build me up to that. So the orb did not come closer, but what they did was like 10 minutes later, because I was like, I have no patience whatsoever. I was just like, I was sitting there for a couple of minutes. I'm like, they're not gonna do it. And they were like, do not go back inside. And I was like, okay. So I was standing there on the balcony arguing. with the orbs. And all of a sudden, this craft, it was one of the, I didn't realize that there were like smaller kind of triangles. This was more of a black triangular craft that had lights on it, because I've seen one of the the big black triangles before. Those are huge, girl, not knitter, girl. Those are like real big, and I've only seen it was like right above me. This was a number of years ago, and it was like kind of cloaked, like it wasn't super like crisp and clear like some people have seen them, but I was like, what the hell is that? It's like a big ass triangle. And they also kind of like, when they're cloaked, to me, the black triangle ships, they kind of look like they're moving in like 8 bits. Like it looks like digitized. I don't know why. Probably something to do with the technology or whatever. This was a smaller kind of triangular looking thing. It looked just plain like enough for it, like if somebody who wasn't prepared to see a craft happened to look up, they could dismiss it. That's why the crafts look this way. Like when people are like posting pictures, and if you've never seen like one of the mystery drones or whatever, when someone posts a video or a picture of it, people are just like, oh, that's a plane, like blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, you don't understand unless you have seen it up close and you're like prepared for this stuff. It doesn't move like a plane. It does sound like a plane. It's not a plane. However, the reason why it's happening like that is for people. So if you have someone who's completely unprepared to see a craft, whatever, it's so if some random person looks up, they have enough plausible deniability to just go, oh, that's just a plane, like, and keep going. Or, oh, that's just like, oh, that's one of those like new drones, bye. And they can just keep going, and it's not going to affect them, because since these are kind and benevolent beings who care about humanity, they are not interested in traumatizing anybody. And so to someone who's prepared, yeah, they're gonna like, if they have time for it, because you do not, like, these are glowing white ships, you don't summon them, okay? You don't, no, okay, I'm just confirming that you do not summon glowing white ships. However, if they are appearing around you, if you have seen them, that means you have established enough of a connection with them that if you would like to invite in additional contact, that will be arranged for you. So you can make requests and they might agree to it, but you are not in control. Like, there are people out here who are, and maybe like for the different races or whatever, you can literally just like, you as a person can be like out here controlling them, literally taking over the craft like with your mind or whatever. They're saying yes. So some of these ships that, are they glowing white? No, they're not are they glowing white ships? No, you cannot, they would never, oh, the reason why you can't do that with the glowing white ship, besides that's just not what they do, is also because like your brain, the human brain can't handle, like you can't handle it. They have to, like, part of that, like a new agey person would say, like part of your frequency raising, part of being filled with the spirit, and depending on what is in accordance with God's plan for you, like if you were meant to pilot a glowing white ship, what they would have to do is get you spirit filled enough and then start like training your brain in a certain way. They would start affecting your neuroplasticity so you could sync up like literally with their ships, but you're not going to be able to do that unless you have a full frame of reference for navigating outside of space-time, right? So no, you can't just sync up with some of these ships because they're operating outside of space-time. However, for some of the other races that are more like tied to the Earth, it is possible for you to be summoning ships and like commanding them and all of this stuff. That's not my portion, and so I'm not going to be discussing it. But I'm just saying, no, you can't. Like for the glowing white ships, you make requests and they will tell you immediately, telepathically, if they will do that for you, or they sometimes like they agree to it, but they're like, we can't do it right now because we're doing other things elsewhere in the world, because this is like a large scale thing. It's not just about me, it's not just about you, it's about everybody. So they can't like spend every single day just with you in that physical capacity. However, if you are seeing the orbs in the ships, you probably can make requests and they will fill them. So they sent me like a smaller black triangle with some lights on it. It was so cool, girl. It like came up, it was like on the right hand side for me. It came up, they all come from the direction of Lake Pontchartrain out there. They're all coming from the lake. Girl, not dead or girl, because they're coming from the Gulf. Girl, not dead or girl, all right? There's a cult reason for that. It has to do with dimensional travel. And we'll get into that eventually on the mailing list letters, how we do the dimensional travel and everything else bodily. We'll talk about that later. So this triangle ship comes up out from like the right-hand side and it gets super close. It came real close. This is the closest probably especially for one like that large that I've ever experienced. And it like turned, it was like going kind of like I guess the motion was sort of like, you know, it was going cruising speed, but it like started off like this and then it turned. So it showed off completely like its underside and shape and got close to me before like banking and like going away. And so I was just like, thank you. I was so emotional, y'all. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. They sent me a closer ship and everything else. And I was real happy. And then I went back inside my house and I was kind of like looking and I saw some other craft that night, like from my window and everything. And I was thinking about the orb. The orb hung out for a little while. And I was thinking, well, maybe like, I don't know, is it a star or whatever? Like, am I kind of like just making a star an orb? And I sat on my couch for like 10 minutes and I was like, let me go look again. And I went and looked and the white orb was gone. And I was just like, if that was a star, it would still be there. It's all orbs. Like I get in my own head so much and they've been saying I need to stop. And that's why they also took my cards away, because I need to stop like second guessing everything, because they do all this stuff for me and I'm still over here just like, I don't know. I could be making it up. So anyway, that was my encounter last night. It was super fun. Now let's go ahead and do an apocalypse check, because we have not had our big event yet that's going to kick off the apocalypse.
Okay. I think a lot of people put news on here now, and that's what this is.
This isn't news, man. You're doing a bit.
I'm not doing a bit. Okay? Maybe you guys, you know, use it for one thing. I'm using it for
This
something.
is a character like when you play Tommy, you're just like stuck in this character now, this alien guy, you're the alien.
I'm not doing a character. I'm James.
You're
James. This is James in my house. These are my
That's
friends.
the problem then. How's this right?
The sobriety, solid.
Smoking a little weed again? No, James?
All right, look, everyone thinks I'm a stoner. Pineapple Express, got it. Okay, I haven't smoked weed since high school. Okay,
I know.
I'm good. I'm good.
Warning a lot of people, man, over these videos. They just don't know where your head's at, man.
Did you guys see the hearings? You see the hearings? The real dudes, the military dudes saying, I saw a flying object.
Was it on Reddit? Or some forum?
No, it was the Senate.
I didn't see it.
It was on New York Times. It was CNN. Real. That's what this is.
So why are you the alien guy now? Is that your whole thing?
I didn't choose this. He chose me. It chose me. I didn't choose this.
Has there just not been enough attention? I mean, come on.
I don't want attention. I don't want attention. You do. I don't. Not for me. I've tasted that. I've tasted that.
Sit down.
I've tasted the spotlight. I don't want that. It's not for me. I'm sacrificing myself. I'm using myself to get the message out there. This is not for me.
And yet,
I don't care about that. I know what it's like at the mountaintop. It's meaningless to me. That's meaningless to me.
James, are you in a psychosis?
Saying something like that is sort of basically racist, because you're just basically saying that just because these beings were born on another planet that they're demons. And to me, that's kind of like dismissing them as a race of beings. So I sort of look at those kinds of comments as, you know, kind of ignorant and racist. They don't understand what they're dealing with, and they're letting their fear-based religious beliefs take over in terms of their relationship to, you know, what they're experiencing with things like UFOs and stuff like that. So I think it's just sort of a primitive, ignorant reaction.
However, here are the things that are going on currently. We have had Starmer resign. That's kind of a big deal. We have also had Tucker Carlson renounce the Republican Party. Also interesting. And dialogue got exposed. People are calling it a cult. Like, I don't know. I guess I have higher standards for a cult. This is more just like a group of, I guess, influential people and rich people who hang out and they do like cons together. Like, that's what I was just like, it's a con. When I was looking at that programming that they had for their event, I was just like, this is a con. This is a pretty standard convention setup for people who are into consciousness stuff and also like rave culture. That's very, to me, besides it being that level of person within the political, financial, corporate system, Silicon Valley system, whatever, none of that was very shocking. And I thought it was extremely funny that they have a panel on summoning UFOs. What that means is they don't know anything. They might have money and everything else, but they don't know anything. They do not have the actual occult knowledge, or else the panel wouldn't be about summoning UFOs. It'd be about something else entirely. And that they have to summon UFOs, not to I'll just say it because it's not meant to make anybody feel bad or anything else, but if you can summon a UFO, it's not that big of an effing deal. The stuff that you really want to be interacting with, to me, there's no problem with interacting with other beings and other things like that, but I'm talking about high level stuff, like important, like world changing types of things. Those aren't beings and crafts and everything else that you just summon. It just doesn't work that way. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, I know exactly who these people are dealing with. And I mean, that's fine. The non-humans will reveal themselves, but it's like, I don't know. There's just some that I kind of don't care about all that much. I wasn't really as scandalized by the dialogue thing, other than I thought it was kind of pathetic that these people don't have any actual information. They don't have any actual beings. They don't have any actual powerful beings backing them. Tech-laced tattoos and meditation techniques, and they were making a big to-doing about that they have like a dating app or whatever, but I mean, I don't find that, I really don't, besides that Peter Thiel is kind of running it, I just don't find that to be really that big of a deal. It's not as big of a deal to me as any of the Jeff Epps. Like, the Jeff Epps stuff is really like the big deal. People seem surprised that there were like Democrats mixed, and they were like, oh my God, there were Democrats in there. I was like, do y'all not remember Bill Clinton and him? Like, do y'all not remember what was going on in the Jeff Epps? Like, why are y'all surprised? Why are y'all surprised that Cory Booker and Ezra Klein? I'm not shocked at all. These people are horrible. What's weird is people are still like weirdly clinging to the Democratic Party as like some sort of bastion of hope. And I'm just like, wow, they really got you with the like, we're doing the genocide, but like, we like trans and gay people. And it's just like, I frankly, like, yes, trans and gay people, I am here for you, but also about that genocide though. Like, I have complaints, So today, the 24th, not only are we supposed to be having like some kind of Trump rally, but that Brazilian psychic predicted the giant ships, girl, at the World Cup. And I'm going to go ahead and duty on that one. I don't think it's going to happen. Not that I'm not here for a giant ship just dropping out of the sky. I am kind of here for that. But I don't know. If it does happen, it's not the glowing lights, girl. Like, because they're saying they're not going to do that. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's interesting that, the Brazilian psychic is saying that there would be a mothership that, like, sucked up 700 people into it. Doubt. But if it happens, that'll be interesting. And then we have James Franco on TikTok saying that, like, he's got an alien in his garage. And that whole thing seems really, like, I watched some of it. Some of the TikToks came up on my feed, and I was just like, this seems really fake. Like, I don't know, like, is this some sort of, like, pretty much everybody is just like, he's marketing something. But that's going to be really odd. And so he has a date of July 13th as when he's dropping his final information or showing the alien or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, girl. I don't see if this is some sort of marketing thing or if he's just like fishing for attention or if this is like part of, because sometimes, you know, things will be staged and fake, but it is still part of actual disclosure because disclosure has to be staged and fake to cover up the fact. Because even if you get alien disclosure, they're not going to tell you the whole truth about like, how these beings have been involved and stuff. They're just be like, oh yeah, the beings, and they haven't. They just got here, girl. We don't even know. And it's just like, we do know. James Franco says on July 13th, he's dropping alien elite ball knowledge. We also have some type, I didn't realize this was going on. We have some type of UFO thing going on tomorrow, the 25th. On Thursday, there's some sort of UFO, UAP thing that's happening. If it's leading up to something, it's something else about like slow drip disclosure. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Even though this has been a while now, David Grush did kind of officially launch like plasmoid beings into, like officially into the conscious, like everybody's, if you've been in the community, like the plasmas have been, you know, talked about and the orbs have been talked about and everything else. So, but I mean, to have it talked about, because I mean, the glowing white range, if you're talking about them, they would be referred to as conscious plasma, who can also take a lot of different forms, but they can take a bipedal form if they are super choosing to. And that tends to be how they show up, like when I'm rendering them or whatever in the bipedal form. Like I said, like if you've seen it, the women have like this long, like basically it's like my hair, except it's like white. And the women have like these little elfy ears, and then the men don't have any hair. And I don't know why, but I have never rendered a glowing white man with little elfy ears. I don't know why that happens for the women and not for the men. Or if I'm they're saying it's right. Like the men have like, they have like, it's mainly like just like a little hole, and there's like a little like tiny little skin floop like coming off of it, but they don't have little elfy ears like the women. I don't know why. And they don't have hair either. They're all bald. So when the major event happens that is going to signal the official start of the apocalypse, and I can't, like I just asked them if they can give me any more information on that. They can't. But is it still on track to happen? They say yes. It is still on track. They're saying there's like nothing that can, is there anything? Okay, there's nothing that can stop this. So we're getting some kind of event. Don't know what it really is, except the sky is involved. And I don't super know when, because when they say soon, like, girl, the glowing whites and human conceptions of time are just very, very off. When we get this event, right, whatever the event is, it's going to be big enough that it's going to freak people out. And so when that initial event happens, there's going to be another rapture wave. And what that doesn't mean people disappearing from Earth. It just means that a lot of people are going to be like converting or like doing whatever. And that is going to dimensionally put them into a different space than where they are currently. So that's like a rapture. So it's not like, I super doubt, I could be wrong because Jesus is supposed to be coming back. Girl and girl, I don't know how that's gonna look. But until like Jesus literally comes back, like you're not gonna see people like vanish or like something super dramatic like that. And I'm still in that I doubt. Like until I see the first dramatic thing that's gonna freak me out, I'm kind of like, it's not that I doubt Jesus coming back, but I just doubt like how literal people take it. Like typically, yes, Jesus is coming back, but is it literally going to be some, and they're even saying, no, it's not literally going to be him like cruising out of the sky, like a missile or whatever. Oh, they're telling me, they already told me what it's going to be. I already know. But so it's not going to look like that. However, yes, Jesus is returning, and okay, now I get it, but we're not going to talk about that on this transmission because we don't even have to think about that right now. That's like a wait, like it's a ways off, but not as long as I'm thinking that it is. So there's going to be this big event, and there's going to be a significant rapture wave that occurs because of this event. And then after that significant event, whatever it is, there are going to be 2 additional more rapture waves before like that can't happen anymore. Because at some point things have to get closed off so that Jesus can return and do the final judgment. And so I have no idea what any of that's going to look like. What's super weird though is that there's going to be people still going to, whoa, they're saying like people are not going to be going to their jobs. They're not going to be going to their jobs? No. I don't know when that's going to happen. So there has to be something that's going to happen that is going to make it necessary for people to stay in their houses. It's not that. You're not going to be like, it's not so much that people are going to be confined to their homes? No. They're going to be able to leave their homes? Yes. Will their movement around like cities and states be limited? Yes. We're still going to be able to go to the grocery store and stuff. However, this is why the last sort of like warning stuff was important. They told me, I can say this. They were saying in the last video that like people, like you need to make sure that you have like food, water, and like light sources and a radio and stuff like that. From what I understand, whatever these events are, whatever this is, it's not going to be like, we're never going to have food again, like da 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 da, and you need to like this is like, we're going to have to be like shooting rats, like coming out of the sewers to survive. It's not like that. However, there are going to be periods of time where panic buying is going to be occurring. So it is better for you to have a little bit of a stockpile now so you don't have to deal with that. Because especially whenever the first event happens, and likely in some of the subsequent events, there are going to be brief periods of time where people are panic buying so hard that like particular grocery stores are not going to have like food on the shelves. And seeing that is going to really freak people out. And then it kind of becomes like a vicious cycle, right? And so that's the kind of thing where it's like, heads up, this has the potential to happen. It likely will happen. So do some stuff now. But don't, like, when you see this happening, right, like when it starts going down, when you see it, don't also panic with these people and believe that like there's never going to be food again on the shelves. That's not true. Like that particular period and they're putting doubt on this. I'm about to give you like the most drastic thing that it could possibly be, is that potentially there would be a month of severe supply chain like issues. And they're saying that is dramatic. So likely we're talking about like a week to like 2 weeks. Like that seems like they're saying that that is more reasonable. And again, it's not that you wouldn't be able to get food from anywhere or that food isn't going to be able to come back. But if you are in a position where you don't have to go outside and deal with that, like you want to be in that position, because like you just don't want to be dealing with other people's like panicked energy when you can just be in your house or whatever, being like, oh dang, yeah, we knew about this. They're also, when they're saying like light sources and everything else, there might be temporary power interruptions. I'm getting a yes on that. Are there going to be long-term power No, it's not long-term or whatever else. But like you could get hiccups, and so it's just better for you to have a power source, to have a radio, to have that emergency preparedness than to not have it. And so after the 3 more rapture waves, that's when it's really like, oh, the final judgment is here, like we're going to do battle. And you know, I don't know how that's going to look either, because like the demons are supposed to, like, they're saying, yeah, the demons are going to come out. But again, that's not like, unless you have like really dramatic like sight, like you can literally see it with your eyes, or like you have really good, like in your mind's eye, you can discern the reality of a situation. I seriously doubt that like you are going to literally be seeing like demons running around everywhere. Like it's going to be like, we're going to have like demonic activity going on, most likely a lot of demonic activity, especially affecting, you know, the very lower levels. And it's just sort of like, if you're in the know, you're gonna be like, oh, this is the demons got let out. We're all like, oof, thank goodness I'm over here in the nice peaceful dimension where that's not happening. But you're going to see it. To me, unless I am proven otherwise, that's what the rapture really is. When you are raptured, that does not mean that you're not going to be on earth for the tribulation or whatever. You will be. It's just that it's not going to be affecting you like that. You will witness it, you will see it, but it's not especially going to touch you unless you like willingly like go somewhere where this stuff is like going on, you know, with the Holy Spirit going, hey, don't go over there. Like you literally have to do that. It's like the Holy Spirit's going to be like, oh, you need to stay right here. And don't do that. And as long as you're listening to that, then you're going to be fine. It's like when you go into another dimension, it doesn't necessarily look like you have left Earth. So, like, once you get, like, super high level, yeah, it looks like you left, even if you are still there. People can't see you, and sometimes you really do leave, like, for a little while. But that's, like, really, really super high level stuff. I don't think we have anything else to talk about. No. So anyway, we're still on the apocalypse watch, and I'm feeling a lot better. I am also going to be performing on the 28th. At a particular venue in the city. The performance is going to include other people as well. We're all going to be reading stories for a small audience, and I believe they are going to live stream it. So if anybody feels like watching everybody else's stories or my stories, I will, at least if they don't have like the live stream link up, I will link, because I think they're doing it like through their Instagram. I will have this place's Instagram linked so you can tune into the live stream if you really want to. So that's coming up this Sunday, the June 28th. And then if you would like to join the mailing group, you are certainly welcome to. We are a loosely structured occult order, and I will be in our next letter that is going out. I will be explaining that because it is not the way that occult orders used to run, like in the Piscean age. That is not how things are going to be run in the Aquarian age, because back in the Piscean age, there's a lot of, and you must swear oaths to us under pain of death and everything. It's just like, oh, we are not in that time anymore. So there are no like oaths sworn and you've got to be scared about saying anything. It's like the information wants to be out. The information wants to be free. However, there is an order to how this is going on. So that is if you want to join the mailing list, that is for people who are very, very interested in higher level occult topics going forward and also practices. So I'm going to be including a lot of history, theory, and then the practical techniques that you would use to do what ultimately, I'm giving it all away. There's no secrets. There's no like, I'm not like, here's what we're doing. If you are interested in joining the occult order on our mailing list, what we are doing is we are working towards individual and also group eventually, but individual bodily, physical body travel into other dimensions. And I mean, because I know we talk about like rapture stuff. It's like, oh, like, yes, technically I am in another dimension as to like another person. However, like that's, even I'm just sort of like, yes, it's real. It's also kind of like a word game. It's like a little bit of a mental play. What I am talking about is, no. There are practical techniques that are challenge, like these are very, very challenging things. Like this isn't just like, oh, and you just think a happy thought and you go to another. No, okay, that's not what we're doing here. This is going to take you, like, this is what I'm also saying. This is only for people who are interested in a practice that is going to take years, that involves their literal lifestyle, marriage, and family. Like that's the level of this. This is not for the weak, okay? This is not for like, just like, I have a manifestation practice. No, we going to the actual other dimensions with our whole ass bodies. Like, we are seeing it for real. Like, that is the stuff where it's just like you see a person like phase out of existence. It is absolutely possible. And there are occult orders like from the Piscean age who did this. There are already beings who have done this. And I'm just saying, I know the techniques. I know how to do it. I will let you know. I have not officially, I have done it. I have, like, it was an accident too. I did the start of the bodily travel into literal, like, I could see them, like, with my peepers, not any third eye stuff. I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And it was the Jack's fault, and I'm telling you. But he had to, like, make his presence known. And I was just like, what is all of this? And, like, it looks wild when you actually start doing it. But if you are not properly prepared for it, you can literally, if you try and do this before you're properly prepared, you'll have a psychotic break forever. You will actually develop chronic psychosis. You can develop schizophrenia from it. You can, let's say you can get stuck, girl. You can get stuck in some sort of weird hybrid state and not be able to come back, okay? You can do that before it's time. And also typically, for my way, unless you have God's will behind you, there are certain registers of angels that are designed to keep you from leaving this dimensional reality before you have license to do so. So prison planet, not really, because basically none of this was ever really a secret. If you could, like, communicate with the beings on your own without any of these priests and orders and everything else, like, they'll just teach you. You might get burned at the stake, though, I was just saying. Before you are fully prepared to leave this one reality and experience all the others, the angels will stop you. And that happened. That's the only time I have ever had, like, direct contact with an actual angel. And it was a very low level one. That was the wildest experience of my life. And so and you just don't want to, like, it was for my own safety. But I'm just saying, like, you literally can't do it. And the drawbacks of attempting it before you've had the proper preparation, it's just, you don't want to go there. Okay, so like I'm saying, this is I can give you all of the techniques and everything else. It is a years-long preparatory practice. And even then, once you can bodily go into the other dimensions, like for really real, typically you're only going to be able to move laterally, slightly up. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep saying these directions, even though it's kind of not really a thing. You can kind of only go laterally, slightly up, or slightly down. In order to go, like, super up or super down, you need your spouse for that. And your spouse has to have gone through this same preparatory process that you have. And then together, you are going to do the Star Heliodor on the microcosm. And the successful completion of the Star Heliodor on the microcosm in the most positive access allows you and your partner access to, like, all of the realms, literally all of them, except for the absolute highest, which is, like, in our languaging, it's going to be like, where God sits, essentially. But that is a whole big long process, because you both have to have crossed the abyss successfully, individually, both of you separately, before you're going to do it together, and, like, all this stuff. So that is so there's the big, like, if you think that there's some big secret, there's no secret, there's no paywall. That's what we're doing. If you are interested in that, please join the mailing list. It is coming up right after I say goodbye to you, my fellow jesters. Before I do, I'm going to remind you, besides being an elf, right? I remain the greatest magician of the age, and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, perhaps, we might make America great for once.
You can't fearmonger me, because I already know what's going on, and I'm not afraid. In fact, I invite it. Hurry it up. Impending doom? Imminent war? What is that to a jester? Come on, guys. I've said this time and time again. They can take the body, but they can't take the joy. Sometimes in bondage, all you have is your refusal. I will be whimsy maxing, enjoy baiting until my last hour.